Well, hello there. I'm Jewell Starsinger. This is Astrology and Beyond. The reason it's beyond astrology is because I mix it up. Because I don't think I'm just doing astrology. I'm always looking for deeper questions and answers, both. Because I said, oh, let's find out the answer to that question. But it always brings up a new question. That's how it works. All right, so this is my niche. All the woo-woo, what it means to you. What does woo-woo mean to you? And why do you care? And why do I care? Well, because I think understanding is the most powerful place to be. Understanding is up here at the top, the very top, the purpley color. And I put Neptune up in there. You can see it's the number 12. I know it's distant, but have a look there. So you've got Pisces, Neptune, and the number 12. This is the astrological alphabet, as pointed out by Zipporah Dobbins. I don't know, maybe 30 years ago, long time. Not that long in history, but that long in my life. Certainly, she was a brilliant innovator. And doing astrology when it was still considered stupid, unprovable nonsense. So anyway, I'm glad that that's over and we're moving into the new age of accepting the idea that understanding is important. Okay, and that understanding comes in other forms than the solid proof of so-called science. Okay, so if you'll notice on my diagram above, behind me, it's at the very top there. And what that is the ocean. And I watched a gal talk about the amazing Humboldt Current, which is an ocean current, on YouTube this morning. And it just really inspired me because I get inspired by YouTube a lot. So evidently the ocean is a layered place. So the top layer where the light hits it is pretty thin. And that's like where all the solar energy comes in and excites all the, I don't know, molecules, energy, critters. It's exciting at the top. And as it goes down in layers, not very far down at all, it gets darker and darker. Pretty soon it's black. And the blacker it gets, the colder it gets. And the colder and blacker it gets, the more yin it is. Interestingly, throughout the Enlightenment, which is what, the 1700s, 1800s, where everybody got all sciencey and everything, evidently, during that time, we really went gaga for proof and for left brain proving. And we were very religious still, but we weren't religious in the holistic sense that yin and yang combine to make life. No, we were religious in the sense that there's one God, and that's dude, and he's yang, and he's our guy, and that's all there is, really. So moving away from that idea has created a tumble of change and interest. All right. So the idea that the dark cold is horrible is a problem because that's deep feminine yin energy. It's at the top of my diagram up here. Yeah. So she is the first creatrix, the ocean. So the penetration of her solar partner is very thin. It doesn't take much yang to stimulate and initiate life. my thesis is that Modernia is screwed up because we're so in love with yang that it's just too much freaking yang. Got to back it down a little. But if we don't understand what is yang and what is yin, we're still in trouble. Understanding is the key. And problem with understanding is that it's a wordless state. In other words, I'm going to read from my notes. The string is a part of the whole tapestry. So scientists are now into string theory and the vibrating. And when you vibrate something Australia, then you can feel it in New York City if they're both mice and only one has been trained to do a maze. And that's amazing. They do that. So the scientists are all bewildered and like, well, that's weird. What's going on? That's mysterious. Well, it is, because that's the way universe is made. So the string is only a part of the fabric. So understanding then is when you play the strings, all of them, without stopping. Understanding is where you don't stop. You keep playing. There aren't any breaks. There aren't any filters in understanding. And the breaks and filters come on the next one down, the blue one that says number 10. That's Saturn. And Saturn is, by the way, a lady, an old lady. She puts the brakes on her mother's unfiltered, open, accepting of everything that is put into her by her solar husband, who's beaming light at the surface of her water. It only penetrates a little way, and only do we need a small amount of his novelty for her to create infinite life. And then her daughter Saturn steps in and says, okay, let's put some filters in here and they'll make some distinctions and create some shelves and cubbies and skin and skeletons. And let's make this real. Because at the point of the ocean, they're just layers of existence, and they're beautiful and they're prolific. In understanding, in the top goddess, the number 12, there is no stopping. So what do? She's an instrument, a stringed instrument. You play the instrument, you play with the instrument, you play along like you're the harpist. Each string has a tune. A tune they play as one song. But each string is its own emotion, its own thing. It's sad, and then beside it stands a string of joy. And you play them together, and there's bittersweet. They stand together like warp. And if you know about weaving, there are threads that stay on the loom all the time. Those are the ones, when you're facing the loom, that are vertical, standing side by side, like soldiers in formation. Each thread of warp stays right there all the time. In the weft, when you throw the shuttle across, the weaving thread, that is different. And it changes the colors. You can put any color in the weft. The weft is the one that sweeps across. And in the musical analogy, the weft then is the fingers of the player. As you play the harp, you strike each archetype And then you become aware of the sound that each archetype makes. And when you become aware of that sound, then you become the musician who strikes A and E and C in series and then in unison, and then backwards and forwards until you created a song. The creatrix of the universe, the world is made by the feminine who's weaving the threads across the archetypal warp. That's why weaving is so powerful of an archetype, the weaver. These three fates, they're weavers. I mean, there's a lot of weavers, but in Modernia, we lose context of these stories when we don't perform the tasks that used to be performed, you see, because nowadays we push buttons in. How do those archetypes fit into life? We're in a world now where I'm beginning to understand, by the way, where we don't know how to create anymore. All we know how to do is innovate. And what we don't understand is that innovation is not our friend. It's not. We misunderstand ourselves. We misunderstand our ideas when our ideas become prominent and above the reality in the middle, between. And also, when we have too much of a good thing. That's what the old lady does up here. She says, that's too much of a good thing. We're going to damp it down a little bit, put the brakes on. Yeah. So that's what she does. So I'm going to just show you. Okay, so this is one of my diagrams that I have been creating over the years, the same as what I have on the wall, right? But I'm going to show you on screen here. And let's go. So we have a chart that is colorful and beautiful, and it's the tree of life, of course. Ever since I started using this Kabbalistic tree, it has helped me put things in order. And I find this very useful. I am a Mercury and Taurus girl. So that means that I need to really get stuff going on when I'm learning in real simple formats. I like it real solid. And I like to say, teach me like I'm 5. So I'm going to try my best to teach you like you're 5. That's how I roll. I know there's a lot of more articulate people, teachers, and, bigger words, more words, but I don't do that. Don't do that so good. Okay, so we have the tree of life. Oh, there we go. All right, so this top pillar then, this is where we have the highest octave of the feminine, the yin side of the tree. Now this is Neptune, number 12, and Pisces. This is the primordial feminine. Now, the way I seen it over the years of study, is that each generation has a new set of gods, just like we have generations of humans. So as the young come in, they see the gods a little differently because they're young. And so the old, as we're passing out and away, passing out, I'm passing out soon. As the old, we have our ideas of how it works, but we're going to go up and become the mysterious elders or the passed away ancestors, you see. And still, there's always going to be this level of the young and the middle-aged working through the same stuff. The stuff doesn't change. It just keeps evolving and moving up, but it doesn't change. That's another reason why I think saying you're a healer, you don't heal. We don't heal. I think that's a poor analogy for what we're doing. I think we need to understand, but see, that's my prejudice because I'm a number 12 kind of girl. I must understand. It's what I do. So, and what you need to remember, I'm not being a smart aleck. I keep trying to understand and then understand it again from another perspective. Touching the elephant, as it were. I'm going to go touch it over on this side. I'm going to touch it up here, and I'm going to touch it all around, touching that damn elephant. Trying to discover what in reality is an elephant. Okay, so this top level here, this higher octave, that is Neptune. That is number 12. The highest octave of understanding. And on my diagram, I have it age 66 to 80, but it should be age 70 to infinity, right? Because it's just vast and it's up there. And then of course, Neptune and Pisces are in there. And as you can see, I don't know if you can, but pure being without attributes. That's the background. The white canvas of this diagram, this tree of life, is called Ein Sof, and it is, as I said here, pure being without attributes. Well, that's the Kabbalist perspective on it. I don't think so. I think they're pure beings with two attributes in the background. And they're actually the two. They're actually the two pillars. So that's my bias. And the old Hebrew bias that has created this really brilliant layout. The old Hebrew bias is that there's one guy. And I think, but here, the story goes like this, because I keep trying to understand and re-understand, that there's a breaking of these vessels, and then you get down here in the lower part, and then you're more in reality up above that, blah, blah, blah. And, that's fine. That's fine. But I think there's more nuance than this. And I think the important thing is to look at the planets in the center of the pillar. The center of the pillar is Tiferet, and it's the sun, and it is the heart. And then if we look down here at the bottom of this pillar, and I have the moon here. Now, the way I've placed the planets is not the way other people have done it. So I'm just giving you the Starsinger interpretation here. And I put the moon at the bottom because it's the kingdom, the queendom. And what's the big thing in all the witchy ceremonies and stuff? The sun marrying the moon. The sun and the moon married. And guess what happens when they get married? Okay, they get married and they have sex. And guess when they have sex? They have it at the twilight, in the Nagual time. According to Carlos Castaneda, this is the time of twilight. morning and evening. So that story, just there it is. It works for me. So it helps me keep it simple. Like I said, just simplifying everything. That's good. So the understanding then. The understanding place is a wordless place. So here I am talking to you and talking and talking and drawing. But see, I'm drawing pictures, and picture drawing is decidedly yin. Video is decidedly yin. That's why I'm doing this, because, and that's why we're all so intrigued. That's why we all want to fall into media, because it's feminine. And we've been so yanged out. But isn't it ironic that we're indulging in this feminine experience, this narcissistic mirror, and it's brought to you by all this yang tech? Isn't that cool? See, I mean, I want to say, oh, it's the end, it's scary, but I have to tell you, it's just us. It's the gods, the finger ball, the eyeballs on the fingers. We're like God. We are as gods. We're in the middle. We're the middle pillar, and we're looking and understanding, what have we wrought? Yin and yang sees itself in us. That's my understanding now. So I will say, here's my 12-letter alphabet of astrology story, 1 through 12. Number 1, a star is born, a person. That's the ascendant. Number 2 is the star has some stuff. Number 3, the star discovers it's got family and friends all around it. That's in a neighborhood. Oh, how interesting. Let's learn more about those guys. Number 4, the star's home, a place from which the star emerged. Now, what is that mysterious place? Is it mother? Is it father? Is it moon? Is it sun? What is that place? Number 5, the star says, look what I can do. I am so shiny. I'm on the stage. Don't you see me now? Don't you see me now? Don't you see me now? Ain't I cute? Ain't I cute? Ain't I smart? Number 6, the star goes backstage with the crew and starts sewing costumes. It's like, okay, let's get ready for the next show. Number 7, the star scores a mini series with a friend. Number 8, the star pays some back taxes and realizes that the mini series, the contracts weren't quite right. And so the star now owes. Number 9, the star goes on a European tour. Number 10, the star makes it to the top of its profession. It becomes regarded as the OG. Number 11, the star's many associates give it an award. Once again, on stage and lauded by all of its peers. Number 12, the star goes into retirement. You like it? That's my story. Now, the thing about that is number 12, into retirement. How does that work? Well, in tarot, it's the Hanged Man. Pisces is the moon card, and the 12th house, Neptune, is the Hanged Man. These all represent retirement, the subconscious, the unconscious, all the places where you go without any words and you wonder. You wonder and you wonder. So for me, in my chart, here we go. In my chart, you can see here that my ascendant is Gemini. The boss of Gemini is Mercury. Mercury is in Taurus, Earth sign, in the 12th space, a water space of retirement. So this is a life made to understand, made to be an understander. This is the ivory tower. This is Rapunzel in the tower. It's like, oh God, I can't get down there. I cannot get down there with you guys, but I can sure see what's going on. But I don't really know what's going on interpersonally because I'm up there and I'm seeing the tops of your heads. I'm seeing the movements of everything. But do I really understand from this perspective? Well, I have a perspective and I'm trying to explain it the best I can. We all do. And I think that's what astrology and metaphysics and the New Age is working towards, is to try and understand that your understanding is from your perspective. And you do your very best to share that. And how do we do that? How do we share our perspective? We share it with our hearts. This is the loving kindness and the sharing. This is where it happens. And the marriage of the earthly plane, the earthly experience shared with our hearts, that's the marriage. And we get to be married to ourselves in the twilight. And my friend, my downstairs neighbor, my lovely friend downstairs, Sister Sue, she said, oh, look at the lilies in our yard in the evening, the white calla lilies. They are glowing in the twilight, in the tender time. That's all I have for now. Thank you for watching.